Welcome to my channel, JB Unfiltered with Josh Brown. Today we are going to be talking about the rookies who I think are going to make an impact on the league this year, and then veterans in the NFL who I think have the most pressure on them and the reason why. The first guy I want to talk about is Jeremiah Love, the rookie running back for the Arizona Cardinals. He played for Notre Dame, and to me, he's the best running back coming out of the draft. And the reason I think he's going to make a big impact is because the Cardinals have a terrible offense, an absolute terrible offense. Maybe, actually, well, Marvin Harrison Jr. actually is not that bad. But they basically have nobody to set up. But the best way to help a young quarterback like Carson Beck, who is probably going to start halfway through the season if Jacoby Brissett sells, or when he sells, because Jacoby Brissett is absolute ass. But the reason I think Jeremiah Love is going to make an impact is because he can see the field and he is really shifty, but then he also runs through guys, which I think is a very rare trait in the NFL these days. Most running backs, like CMC, they like to run around people or get the ball and then go out of bounds. But people like Jeremiah Love, Cam Scadaboo even, or Derrick Henry, those people will also run through guys. And that's why I think Jeremiah Love is, to me, should be the favorite to win Rookie of the Year because he's automatically going to start, while other rookies are actually going to have to wait a couple weeks to start, because most of the rookies who are actually going to get playing time are the rookie quarterbacks who are not going to be starting week one. The next person I want to talk about is Fernando Mendoza, the rookie quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. He played for Indiana, undefeated, won the national championship, absolute dog. But obviously, he's not going to start week one because of Kirk Cousins, who's already guaranteed to start. But with how bad the Las Vegas Raiders are, he's probably going to start by week 5, probably 6, if I had to take a guess. But the reason I think Fernando Mendoza is also going to make an impact is because when he does get onto the field, this dude has a Tom Brady-ish kind of play style to him, where what's the right word? He loves to see the field slowly. Like most quarterbacks these days, they love to run around, make the highlight plays. Think of Caleb Williams, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. They run around and create the highlights. Fernando Mendoza can do some highlight plays, but he also wants to sit in the pocket, read the defense, and make the right throws. That is a rare breed of quarterback these days, which I think is actually the best version of a quarterback. But that's neither here nor there. We can debate that in a different video. But that's why I think when he does get on the field, he's going to show signs of that. Do I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year? Probably not, because he's not going to play until week 5 or 6, maybe even later, depending on how the Raiders are playing. But I think that when he gets onto the field, you're going to see the flashes, but you're also going to see the rookie mistakes, because he is a rookie at the end of the day. But I think Fernando Mendoza is set up very beautifully. Even though the Raiders are a terrible team, I think that he's set up perfectly to have a good career, whether that's with the Raiders or future down the line, with a different team. I think Fernando Mendoza is set up very well and has the perfect quarterback accolades to be a good quarterback in this league. The last rookie that I want to talk about is Makai Lemon for the Philadelphia Eagles. I still will never forgive the Buffalo Bills for not drafting him, but that's neither here nor there right now. But Makai Lemon, I think because of the departure of A.J. Brown, he is going to be the wide receiver too, as long as he can stay healthy and Devontae Smith doesn't get hurt. But Makai Lemon, he is a big physical receiver who loves to block, kind of like a Puka Nacua, if you want to compare him to a receiver. He has that kind of play style, but then he also, in my opinion, has like a Devontae Adams or DeAndre Hopkins kind of hands, which are really reliable. Now, he still is a rookie, so I'm not saying he, compares to those guys in the status, but that's the kind of shadow that I see with him. Like he looks like that, shades of them kind of thing. But Makai Lemon is, to me, the best receiver in the draft. I am surprised that Carnell Tate went before him personally, but I think Makai Lemon is the best receiver in the draft, and I think it's going to show this year, despite Jalen Hurts being a very questionable quarterback, throwing it down the middle. Even though he's a good quarterback, I think Makai Lemon is going to be that receiver that goes down the middle and will get those ones in between the linebackers, the slant routes, the in breakers, the curl routes, the out routes, those kind of things. I think those will be the routes that Mekhi Lemon runs, and I think those are the ones he actually succeeds best at because Devontae Smith is the deep threat. I think they actually match up perfectly with each other. Now, the players that I think have the most pressure, I'm going to start off with Joe Burrow, and people are going to be very upset about this, but I do not care about the Super Bowl appearance in 2021. That doesn't matter anymore. It's 2026, the 2026 2027 season, and Joe Burrow hasn't been to the Super Bowl since then. Not just that, he's missed the playoffs here and there. Now, again, that's not necessarily his fault because the O line is not blocking for him. The defense is putrid, but Joe Burrow, to me, is one of those players that has some of the most pressure on him because he demanded that they sign all these receivers on offensive weapons, and the Bengals obliged. But now they don't have the money to pay for O line or better defensive players, and they're paying the price for it. They're missing the playoffs. He's getting hurt still. So to me, Joe Burrow, despite making it to a Super Bowl, he doesn't have the most pressure. There's still two other guys that have more pressure than he does, but Joe Burrow to me has some of the highest pressure in the league right now because of the lack of success lately. He's missed the playoffs, I think, back-to-back years, if I remember correctly, but they missed the playoffs for the last couple of years, and he can't stay healthy anymore. They can't win week one anymore. So to me, that is a big reason why Joe Burrow has the most pressure on him, or some of the most pressure on him. The next person I want to talk about is Lamar Jackson, and everyone's going to know why Lamar Jackson's on this list. Dude has MVPs. He's probably the best runner to ever walk the earth at quarterback position, even though I believe it's Michael Vick. But that's another video that we can talk about. But the reason Lamar Jackson to me has this, and to me, he's tied for first in the most pressure with another player. But the reason Lamar Jackson is because of the MVPs, like I said, but the lack of playoff success. Every time he makes it to the playoffs, it seems like he drops down a peg. He goes from MVP to okay, or sometimes he plays poorly. Now, not every game that he played in the playoffs was terrible, but when Lamar Jackson plays, it feels like he's playing a little frantic when the game matters the most. Like in the regular season, it's like, okay, this guy, first ballot Hall of Famer, but then the playoffs, it's like, is he though? So to me, Lamar Jackson, his ceiling is up here, but then he's playing like down here in the playoffs. So to me, he needs to get over the hump. He has never been to a Super Bowl, and in the biggest moments of his career, he's fallen short. So to me, Lamar Jackson needs to step up, or people need to start wondering, is Lamar Jackson just a choke artist, or is this dude just a one and done, like a Dan Marino kind of thing? But then again, Dan Marino actually could make it to a Super Bowl. So, we'll see about that. The last player I'm going to talk about has the exact same pressure, like tier to me as Lamar Jackson. They are neck and neck. Josh Allen. As an avid Bills fan, this is very frustrating to me. But Josh Allen, unlike Lamar Jackson, hence why I think he's, better. But anyway, Josh Allen has performed in the playoffs. He just hasn't got it done, except for last year against the Broncos. But we don't even need to touch that game because there's other things that happened in that game that we do not need to talk about. But aside from that one game, Josh Allen has played perfectly fine in the playoffs. The defense has let him down. The coaches have let him down. Stephon Diggs, that one game where he dropped a deep ball that would have sealed the game for us. Josh Allen played fine. But again, he won an MVP. He is considered a top 3. Some people want to say top 4, but to me, he's a top 3, top 2 even. But because I consider him a top 3 quarterback in the league, and he hasn't ever been to a Super Bowl, to me, he has the most pressure in the league, along with Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen has never been to a Super Bowl. He has fallen short every single time. Whether it's his fault or not, he's still fallen short. This is a team game. And he hasn't seen the Super Bowl, and he hasn't won a championship. So to me, Josh Allen is also on that tier. He needs to get it done because people are now questioning whether he can ever get it done. And that's not good. If you're going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback and you've never sniffed the Super Bowl, that is a big knock on your career at the end. You have to at least sniff it. Like, not everyone's going to win a Super Bowl, but you have to at least go there if you want to be considered one of the all-time greats. There's a reason Jim Kelly is considered the greatest Bills quarterback of all time. He's been to 4 Super Bowls. He went to them 4 straight times. Josh Allen has been to 0. So he needs to get it done. If it's not this year, then when? Because they are giving him good players. It's not like they lack talent, but they're not getting it done. So it's now or never, basically, for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.